breaking news. Monique Samuels from Love and Marriage DC and formerly from Real Housewives of Potomac has filed for separation from her husband Chris after 10 years of marriage. According to People magazine, it reads, Real Housewives of Potomac alum Monique Samuels and her husband Chris are separating after 10 years of marriage. And I'm going to tell you something. This one, I feel some kind of way because I really like not just her on the show, but I even liked him, and I really loved them as husband and wife. When Monique left Potomac, I cried. I don't do stuff like that. I cried. But the way she left, it was just legendary. And she showed those people who was basically trying to, talk down to her and bully her that she was going to be okay. And I think even in this marriage, she'll be okay. Yes, I know I played the clapping emoji. It's weird. But in order for you to understand why I did that, you have to know about Monique. But first, I'm going to read to you about the story, about the separation. And then I'm going to explain to you why I clapped. Monique Samuels and her husband, Chris Samuels, are going their separate ways. Multiple sources confirm to people that the Real Housewives of Potomac alum, 39, and the former NFL player are splitting after 10 years of marriage. The couple shared 3 children, sons Christopher, 9, and Chase, 3, and daughter Milani, 7. The Samuels' relationship issues were well on display during the first season of Love and Marriage DC. A second season for the own reality show has been announced, with Monique expected to be on the show. People have reached out to the couple for comment. Early on Sunday, at the Real Housewives of Potomac panel at BravoCon, Monique's former co-star Ashley Darby opened up about her friendship with Monique, saying that the two had lunch just last week and that Monique was going through some personal things at the moment. In July, Monique told Entertainment Tonight about the state of her marriage while she was filming Real House RHOP. People always say that reality TV tears your marriage down. What people don't realize is that Real Housewives of Potomac actually in some ways saved my marriage, she revealed. Chris and I, before we started filming that show, we were in a really rough place. We had lost all of the dating in our marriage. Once we started filming reality TV, it actually helped us because it forced us to date, she added. So we were able to get out, just reignite that intimacy and be excited about each other. So I will not lie. Season 2 of RHOP saved my marriage. And at the end of the day, sometimes you still have to come back to those moments because some of the things that I expressed on Love and Marriage DC, people who watch Potomac saw I had those same concerns back then. So it's not like this is something new. Back in December 2020, Monique announced that she was bidding farewell to RHOP. After the final episode of Season 5 reunion aired, she revealed on Instagram Live that she would not be back for the show's 6th season. And it was legendary. I saw it. It was a crazy ride. It's not easy doing reality TV. And to be quite honest, I'm over it, she explained at the time. I appreciate everything that people have done for me. Everybody that's been Team Monique, I love y'all. I thank y'all. But when you cross certain lines, there's no going back. And for me, my family is that line. She continued. The opinion of my family and my kids and what they think about anything that I do is more valuable than everybody's opinion. So I'm over it. BravoCon 2022 was taking place through Sunday at the Jacob Javits Center in New York City. I just found out about it. I'm 10 train stops away from the Jacob Javits Center. What the hell? Had I known about this, I would have actually, joined. But hey, oh well, I didn't know. But anyway, I'm going to say this. Back in 2016, The Real Housewives of Potomac had aired and debuted its very first season. And I was one of the very few people that said this show is going to be legendary and it's going to one day overpower Real Housewives of Atlanta. Many people doubted me because at that time, Real Housewives of Atlanta they were still in their, they were still filming season 8, and they were, airing in season 8, and pretty much it was still a ratings gem. And I had said, Potomac brings something different. And what it was bringing was that people weren't really quick to fight. And so you didn't have all this, and let me tell you something, honey child and girlfriend, because you don't know me. Like, the women, and even the men said this, they said the women were more dignified. But the problem was that many people didn't watch it because they didn't think it was interesting. So what happened was, there was a woman named Katie Ross who was on the show. They pretty much replaced her with a new woman, and her name is Monique Samuels, which is the person I'm discussing now. Day one, I said Monique is going to save the show. She's going to make many women who didn't want to watch it the first season watch it. And she did, because the second season, the ratings doubled. Third season, and even the fourth season. Now, the problem with Monique was never Monique, because Monique got along with Karen. Monique got along with Ashley. To a degree, Charisse. But her problem was with Giselle. Giselle never liked her. And that was because Giselle was envious of her, in my opinion, because she had a husband who was a true multimillionaire through sports, playing in the NFL. And when you play in the NFL and you retire in the NFL, you get a pension for life. You get benefits. You get connected to a whole array of stuff. And Giselle's marriage failed. And it was like looking at Monique. Monique is actually light-skinned, but Monique is not high yellow. But it's like, how can this woman who, like, darker than me, have a husband who loves her, a whole family, and he didn't even cheat on her, and my husband cheated on me with a whole plethora of women, and I was first lady of a church. So Giselle never really wanted her there. So what she would do on the show is, like, she would start and nitpick this girl. And she would get Robin, who I like Robin Dixon, but as an Aries, I'm looking at her like, Robin, you let Giselle push you around like that? Come on. Like, And so I'm like, looking at her like, okay, what's really going on? What's really up? Because season 1, y'all wasn't doing this, colorism stuff. But I felt like with Monique, they was on some colorism stuff with her. And it did spill over into their marriage, in a sense, at least on display of the show. Because by season 5, Monique was stressing out. And Monique was like, I can't really take this anymore. Like, it was really affecting her marriage. And I think the stress of what happened on the show, Potomac, did something to her marriage. Not condoning the things that Chris said or did. But the thing is, at the end of the day, when you have people coming for you, okay? And it's not just you coming for my wife, but then your wife, then this girl or woman is coming for me. It kind of, and the whole world is seeing it, and y'all paint a picture like I'm this bad person, when it might not be the case. It could take a toll. And I think that the producers of Real Housewives of Potomac, y'all didn't treat Monique right, because Monique saved y'all show. And what y'all did in return, y'all really displayed their marriage like it was bad and like it was problematic. And y'all took parts that weren't good and y'all displayed it, and the parts that were good, you didn't. And I believe that by the time they got to Love and Marriage DC, the damage from that situation was done and it was on display. Now, can the marriage be salvaged? Absolutely. They filed for separation. She didn't file for divorce. But the question that I have is, do you still want to do reality TV? Because I wouldn't do it at this point. I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it. Because the reason why I wouldn't do it is because I would want to save my marriage. Because my whole thing is, I love my husband. And my husband loves me. And as a person that feels that way, I don't want to have any remnants of our children knowing that we could have saved something and we didn't do it because we chose not to. Because we were caught up in the whole reality TV. That's something that I would say I hope that Monique really thinks is over, because Monique is the one that filed. And for the most part, I think the only person that's really happy with this is Chris's mother, because she really didn't care for Monique. Because Monique was from Jersey, she wanted her to marry somebody from the Big Bam. But I really do think they loved each other. And it was good that she did get away from that situation at Potomac. But, you know, sometimes marriages, they last for the time they're going to last. I mean, 10 years is a lot of years. I wouldn't say it's a long time because they have children who are very small. But at the end of the day, you can't force somebody to be with you. And nobody should force you to be with them. And that's the reality. It's life. It is what it is. But I still think they love each other. And I wish them the best, because I really, really loved them on the show of Potomac. And with that being said, I'm signing off. Thank you for listening. Have a wonderful weekend. Like, share, hit the notification bell, comment, and subscribe. And I'll be back later. Take care.